The 962nd edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with promo code MMA SGPN.
Heidi Ho DeGenerinos, welcome to episode 962 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to Zero, one of our friends in the Discord. I don't think I've shouted out Zero before this, so this goes out to Zero. Who am I, you may ask? I'm still Michelangelo Colangelo. I really enjoy that name. I'm going to keep it for as long as I can. The person you hear, you can call me Jeff Fox as well. The government calls me that, at least. Gumby Vreeland is alongside me. Some may know him as Danny V, but mostly I don't even call you Dan anymore on these things. I've realized it's just right to Gumby.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really knows who Dan is anymore.
No. It's
I had that happen in
to his character.
Yeah, I had that happen in the jiu-jitsu gym recently. The guy who I've known there for like 15 years was like, "Yeah, go over there and roll with Dan. He can help you out with whatever you're trying to learn." And some like newbie walked over and kept like looking around. I was like, "You looking for somebody?" And they're like, "Somebody named Dan." I was like, "Oh, that's me."
Yeah,
that's me. I have a name.
You've become your character. That's what they say pro wrestlers do sometimes. When they become their character, it gets dangerous. So lucky the Gumby character is a nice family.
Yeah, he's friendly guy. Yeah.
He's a good guy. See, you're talking third person now too. I like it. What are we covering today, Gumby?
Cage Warriors,
right? Finally, Cage Warriors screwed us over. We were supposed to cover them a couple of days ago, so not much difference for you people, but for our recording purposes, they screwed us over. Why did they rearrange half of the
they had a bunch of people fall out of fights and stuff like that. I mean, like the first fight's half fallen apart. The second and third fight we were going to cover completely fell apart. They shook things up quite a bit all of a sudden. So we postponed it a few days to make sure we didn't get every fight canceled, which would have been pretty hard for you guys to stomach.
So Cage Warriors freeze right now. This is your fight card. You can't change it. This is it. This is your card, at least until we publish.
And it's got an old favorite who just recently appeared on the card, who I might talk about on the lightning rounds. You're gonna have
I see. I'm looking at him.
Oh, it's right there, isn't it?
one of my favorite nicknames back in the day.
It's not a nickname. It's somebody's.
I know, but I took it as a nickname. Yes,
the real Christian name.
Yes, it is. Very good. I got you. I know where you're headed. How are you doing we haven't an update for a little bit. How are you doing with the regional? Are we up?
Non-UFC MMA. Now, granted, this is a kind of a make or break week for the end of the year. But this past weekend, we had 4 events that we did. In LFA, we bombed pretty hard on. We got one push and went 1-3 on the other ones.
They made you look bad in
there. They backstabbed me. So I went 1-3 with one push. Which was, means it was down a little over 2 units, but the rest of the other 3 events that we covered net were up a unit. So altogether, we went down like a unit and a half last week, which leaves us at just under 51 plus 51 units.
Nice
on single unit bet only for the entire year on every single fight.
Exactly. So did you have a goal? Was 50? I thought like 40.
No, I think we just said beat in team goals, right? Always team goals. I think our team goal was just like beat last year. And last year was just over 40, I want to say. I think it was like 40 and a half units. And so like after I beat that, I was like, I don't know, it kind of feels like I got play money now, So we're just riding that high and making sure we don't bomb.
But Gumby's not going to play it safe still. I guarantee. No. I don't know his picks here, but I guarantee he's going to down in on some dogs for you. So don't worry.
How we got here. We don't abandon how we got here.
Exactly. All right, we should probably get into it. Reminder though, you can gear up for the holidays at the SGPN merch store. The perfect gift for the degen in your life. Promo code HOLIDAY for 25% off everything at checkout sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Obviously, check out the MMA gambling page first because we have lots of amazing gear. Like this shirt I'm wearing. I'm wearing our classic sticky shirt currently as I'm recording this. But obviously, all the shows have great gear in there. Basically, I would say about 3/4 of my day-to-day outfits are SGPN outfits. So if you want to be cool like me, obviously, check out the store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Holiday. Maybe we'll say it again. because you know what happens if we get someone with multiple titles on their mantles. I hear someone's getting a little. At least one person has
getting a little. They just said mix it up. They didn't say to get rid of it. They said mix it up.
Then it's not a thing if you mix it up. It's like people expect this from us, okay? People love the mantle, all right? We have shirts with it on it.
I changed where my desk is down in my recording studio here, and now you can see the bottom of my mantle right above me. See that?
Yeah, that's true. Yes,
yeah.
With all your MMA paraphernalia, we'll call it. So,
yeah.
You don't have any Cage Warrior stuff though, do you? Octagon sent you stuff.
I got my Octagon, my Alexander Popek autograph card right there.
Cage Warriors should have some trading cards as well. All right, I mentioned mixed up earlier. This card is very mixed up. It got mixed up, but we're gonna break down what we have as of this recording on Wednesday evening. So we already did a Cage Warriors, actually. Cage Warriors 197, which is kind of like you can consider it the prelims to this event. We covered that a few episodes back, so check that out. That's a Friday event coming up, and then we got the main event on Saturday. So it's Cage Warriors 198, Tugarev versus Brown. And it's a Saturday at 1 p.m. start time. So you're gonna be busy. You're gonna have multi-screens Friday and Saturday if you're into all the MMA. BEC Arena, Manchester, England, 12 fights as of now. We have Gumby's picked the 5 that hopefully will stay in place, and we'll get you some winning plays for it. So we're starting with, once I scroll up to the right spot, here we are. It is
almost all lightweights. You can just say lightweight almost every time.
And then I'll be correct most of the times. Lightweight, Shay Ingram. He is from England. Wellington Lopes from Brazil. 3 5-minute rounds, as Gumby said, is lightweight. No odds. The application where odds are easy to find, so you won't have to. You can actually line shop and all that good stuff. Nanem is the nickname for Lopes, which means baby. He's 7-4 with 4 knockouts. He's been knocked out once, submitted twice. This is his short notice debut in Cage Warriors, so. I don't have the stats for regional. I assume short notice people don't do well in regional. Do you know off the top of your head from watching?
It's hard to tell because there's just like such a discrepancy in like what a short notice opponent looks like on the regional scene. Because like you're right, like in the UFC, they're all mostly the same, right? Like short notice is a guy who really badly needs a win, or somebody trying to sign to the UFC for the first time. Right. Short notice person in a regional scene could be like anybody whose fight was canceled last weekend, including the best person. Yeah.
Someone in the crowd. Sonia, short notice debut for Lopes. He's won 2 of 3 and 4 of 6, but he did lose his last bout. That was back in May of 2024. He last won a fight September 2023. He has fought all over the place. 125, 135, 145. Now he's up again at 155. 2014 Pro MMA debut. Ingram is the fridge. What a great nickname, Gumby. But I'm not changing mine. But still, especially for a lightweight. The fridge is 3-0 with 1 submission. All those fights are taking place in Cage Warriors. Submission win in his last bout. He's 11 years younger than Lopes, 3 inches taller. So I know filming Ingram's easy to find. How about Lopes?
Oh, pretty easy to find too. You'll find more of his kickboxing footage than you'll find his MMA footage, but you can find a little bit of either. He fought in Shudo, so like Fight Pass has got some of his old stuff in there too. Went back and watched that Shudo fight. Actually, really impressive. I went into this fight being like, short notice opponent versus 3-0 British guy on a British fight card. Leaning towards the British guy, but the more and more I watch film, I think I like a dog swing on Lopes here.
Really?
I don't know how big of a dog he'll be, because on one hand, you're right. Ingram 3-0, usually that bodes pretty well. Lopez's record doesn't look great, but like, I don't know, he's been around the block and he's a kickboxer and has a bunch of big knockouts. Like maybe that'll draw the line down a little bit, but I would say like you're gonna get 2-1 at least, right? Maybe 225 on Lopes, and I wouldn't be surprised if it ballooned up a little higher. And like I said, I like him. And the basic reason here is, watching Ingram, very quick hands. That was one of the first things I noticed when he does shoot a takedown. He's like absolutely diligent about getting it. He's like a dog on a bone. He switches a whole bunch of times. He's trying to drive through, really clearly is like fighting for every takedown he gets, which is both good and not good. And then on the other side of things, though, from the defensive perspective, really freaking hittable. His head does not move at all. So like he comes in with these like, he comes in with these like really fun hands and like 1, 2, 3 punch combo. And then he's just like still right there and his head hasn't moved yet. And, if you watch Lopes, like, first of all, Lopes hits like a truck. Like this dude, his hooks are nasty when he's on point with them. I'm a little bit worried about his size because he shouldn't be at 55. Like, I'm just being frank. He obviously took this one on short notice to be at 55. So that worries me a little bit about the wrestling with Ingram. But when I went back and I watched his Shudo fight, which by the way, I think might have actually been even at 35. But his fight at Shudo, like really, really good quick hits when it comes time for his opponent to shoot. Hard guy to take down despite being a kickboxer. And I don't know, maybe like being shorter than Ingram might throw Ingram off kind of heavily because like when you think about what Ingram's done his whole career, is like he's only what's Ingram like? He can't be tall, right? No, but I mean tall. Height-wise.
Height-wise.
I think he's like, I want to say he's like 5'9", like because he's a fridge.
You got it.
He's a fridge. And so like he's used to being the stocky lightweight, right? He's got a 3-inch height advantage now. But like, is that an advantage? If he wants the takedown, I don't think it is. And like, I think he kind of needs the takedown, right? Because he's going to be fighting a dude with low center of gravity who's going to hit him with like an uppercut on the way in otherwise. So I kind of think the height is actually, being the short guy here might be an advantage for Lopes. And definitely the striking should be on his side. So I'm going to take a dog swing on Wellington Lopes.
Gumby cannot quit the short queens or kings. Did you? I don't think you gave a number, did you?
I said plus 225. I said you'll definitely get 2-1 on him, but it could eke up even higher than that.
Yeah, 2%. Tapologists are picking
only 2.
Yeah, so it might be a nice number. People get mad at you.
Let's go. Let's get nuts
until it hits. All right, we got another England versus Brazil fight here. Next, Jack Humphries. He's from England. Joab Souza. He's from Brazil. 3 5-minute rounds at bantamweight. So let's break her down by telling you about Souza first. King Souza. I didn't know Brazil had a king, but there you go. He's 6-7, 4 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out twice, submitted 5 times. He owes his rounds. This is his debut in Cage Warriors. He's won 2 of 3 and 2 of 6. Not so good there. Submission loss in his last bout. Regional champ has fought at 115 because some places do have men's strawweight. 115, 125, 145. 2015 Pro MMA debut. Humphries is the Ripper. 4-0, 1 knockout, 3 submissions. He owes rounds 2, sir. He's won all his fights taking place in Cage Warriors. 12 years younger than Souza, an inch taller. So this is almost the same breakdown as the first fight we had, at least.
Except for not at all the same. So basically, like, this is the fight I thought we were getting with Ingram versus Lopes. And then, like, the film sort of was like, hey, slow up a little bit. And then I went to go break this one down second. And I was like, maybe I should take a look at this is bad. Joab Souza is... He's not just got a bad record. He's lost to some truly awful people. One of his submission losses is to a guy who's 2-6. And it was like, he kept going for like body lock takedowns, but somehow winding up with his head in the guy's armpit and like nearly getting choked. And he did that like 3 times until he actually got choked. And I was like, he just keeps doing it and nearly losing. And he just like, it was like somebody sticking a fork in a light socket, and he just did it enough times until he got fried. And the problem here is he's fighting, Humphries, who has a really good jiu-jitsu game, right? Like he counter wrestled and choked Nick Bukema, who, I thought was like one of the top prospects in Cage Warriors for a little while. He was going to fight Nick Bagley, Bukema was, and it was like very exciting. So he like countered him, and he had a choke and all of that kind of stuff going on. So I'm a big fan of what we've seen from Jack Humphries. And then in addition to that too, like lightning quick right hand, I would say if there's a problem with Jack Humphries in terms of like what we're hoping for him in the future, he needs to work on like dealing with guys who have really long jabs and really good straights. But Joab Souza's not that. Like I'm breaking down Jack Humphries as if like I'm worried about him in the future, because I'm not worried against Joab Souza. -1,000, -1,500. Like nothing kind of would surprise me here for Humphries. Like he's gonna be a massive favorite. And there's no reason to get excited on Joab Souza.
All right, don't get excited. Don't get excited about the -1,000 line either, but we have one of those in UFC later on today as well.
Yeah, weird.
No, we have one even worse than that coming up, I think. So anyhow, No Big. You don't see lines like that at No Big. We're brought to you by No Big. It's NOVIG. No Big is America's #1 sports prediction market. No Big, you're getting the best prices because they have reduced juice, so you don't have to worry about your -1,000 lines. No Big is available in 35 plus states. Download the No Big app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with No Big, promo code SGPN. And Underdog. Underdog is your home for pick'em entries where you win up to 5,000 times your entry. Gumby probably has a play for you.
Sure. If you're getting this before the NBA games start on Wednesday, which hopefully you do, I like Dante DiVincenzo's. Get this, his rebounds. Dude's been
Oh,
going nuts on the boards lately. Right now, I saw the projection was only 4.5. We're gonna take the higher than that. He's had 6, 6, and 5 over the last 3 games, and he's up against a terrible rebounding team tonight. So give me Dante DiVincenzo's rebounds.
all right. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 to get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our code MMASGPN. Bet you didn't expect to get a Dante DiVincenzo rebounding prop. Play
Jeff
there
didn't
you
even
go.
expect that.
No, I was like, whoa, really? All right. No more of this England versus England. England versus Brazil stuff. We have England versus England next. And guess what weight class is that, Gumby?
Lightweight.
Lightweight. You got it. Tim Wilde, Oscar Ownsworth. Let's break it down. Ownsworth. Great name. He's got a great nickname too. Do you know his nickname, Gumby?
Is this the
Oscar
ginger
Ownsworth?
with the intent to injure?
Yes. No. Ginger Fury.
Oh, there's a ginger with the intent to injure. He must be
Really?
from somewhere else. Yeah.
Ginger. I remember seeing that. Yeah. Ginger
Yeah.
Fury. So there's a good one
Ginger
for you.
Fury.
I can't really steal that. He's 8-4-1, 4 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been submitted twice. This is his debut in Cage Warriors. He's lost 2 straight. Before that, he'd won 5 straight. And he's gone 7-2-1 over his last 10. He last won a fight July 2023. He went 1-1 in PFL, 0-1 in Bellator, RIP, multiple regional championships on his
Mantle.
Correct. Get our shirts, get our merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store, and the code is holiday for 25% off. Whoever it is that doesn't like that, there's some more coming. I'm warning you in advance. He's fight at 145. He's 8 years younger than Wilde, 2 inches taller. Wilde is the experiment. The experiment versus Ginger Fury. What are we doing with our lives, Gumby? Think about what we're talking about right now.
I love this.
All right. Wilde, 17-7-1, 7 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out 4 times, submitted twice, 2-4 in Cage Warriors. He has lost 3 straight. Before that, he won 3 straight, and he's gone 5-3-1 over his last 9 fights. TKO loss in his last bout. His last won a fight in November 2023. 5-3-1 in Bellator, RIP. Multiple regional championships on his
Mantle.
Correct. Remember, store, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Merch, holiday is the code. 25% off at checkout. Wilde has fought at 145 and 170. 2013 pro MMA debut. He's has a 2-inch reach advantage over Ownsworth.
Okay, so this is gonna be a tight fight because of the recent losses, right? Like both of them on kind of a gnarly losing streak against a step up in opponents. I think Wilde, one of his losses is to Mark Diakese in that 3-fight run. But both of them on kind of like nasty losing streaks and were like sort of prospects before that. I actually remember picking Ownsworth in a lightning round on Bellator, and he let me down pretty hard. And then I was like, ooh, maybe he's not
holding a grudge.
No, I'm actually going to pick him in this one.
Okay.
It's going to be a pretty close line. I actually think Ownsworth will probably be a slight favorite. I'll say like -125, -130, somewhere in that range. And the reason I like Ownsworth in here is, so first of all, like if Ownsworth knows what's good for him, he should not wrestle here because he's really good at taking people down and really bad at holding them down. And Tim Wilde is pretty much the perfect foil to that. He gets taken down all the time, but he pops right back up. So I kind of feel like Ownsworth is just going to tire himself out if he decides to go that route. And Tim Wilde has got really good cardio. Luckily, I don't think he's going to take that route because he is much better on the feet than Tim Wilde. Wilde kind of wings it, and he does have a little bit of power, but he's like very wide with his shots. He's not straight to the target. He's a little bit reckless when it comes to defensive striking. You know, he's kind of stays in the pocket and is willing to brawl. Ownsworth is a lot more technical. He comes with really good footwork that brings pressure. You know, he's one of those people who cuts off the cage well and forces you to fight where he wants you to fight and at the range he wants you to fight at. Pretty much everything is in combination. So, like, I think he's the better striker. I also think he's like would be in all the advantageous positions for grappling. I just think there is like this weird outside chance that like he grapples so much he tires himself out, and somehow Wilde like capitalizes on that. So I am a little bit cautious on this one, especially because we've seen Ownsworth make some kind of like, you know, bonehead moves, which is why he's got a couple of losses in there. But at the end of the day, like, you know, he's better in both of those realms. And I'm just kind of banking on him not wasting all of his cardio and losing that way. So I'm going to take Ownsworth here, price slight favorite.
Yep, looks like at least topology 55% for him. So,
tight.
Right in
so
where
really
you
tight. Yeah.
Yep, right in where you thought it would be. All right, co-main event. Chris Bungard, he is from Scotland. Simone Patrizi, he is from Italy. guess what they're fighting at? 155. You're right. Patrizi is the white shark. Not great. He's not great though. He's just a white shark. He's 7-4, 4 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out twice, submitted once. He's 2-3 in cage wars. He has lost 2 straight. He's won 1 of 4. 6 years younger than Bungard. We got a lot of people on losing streaks on this year card. Bungard is the bad guy. 21-10, 5 knockouts, 12 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted 4 times. He's 4-3 in cage wars. He's won 2 straight. Before that, he lost 2 straight. He's gone 4-3 over his last 7. Past 2 wins, both via submission. 2-3 in Bellator, RIP. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our merch, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store holiday at checkout. Missed weight before at 155, used to fight at 170, 2013 pro MMA debut, 3 inches taller than Patrizi.
So you guys might not remember this unless you're like the craziest diehard of this podcast.
I didn't remember, and I was part of it.
Yeah, but we actually broke this fight down for Cage Warriors 193. These two were supposed to fight in the main event I think it was the main event of that fight card. And after we did the breakdown, they both missed weight, and Patrizi said he wouldn't fight Bungard, who was overweight. And I was like, "You're both overweight, dude."
Yeah, that's the funny part.
But like, that's my favorite part of it. Is Patrizi was like, "I won't fight him if he missed weight." And it's like, you did too. So anyway, the fight got canceled. Plenty of time has passed, and they're about to fight again. But I'm gonna give the same breakdown as I do, but it's gonna make me a lot less enthusiastic about it. So when I first broke it down, I picked Patrizi. Here's the reason I picked Patrizi the first time, and I'm going to pick him again for the same reasons. Is first of all, I think he's a little bit better in terms of wrestling, mostly just because Bungard loves jiu-jitsu. Bungard loves jiu-jitsu so much that sometimes he will concede a takedown because he's just like, sick, we're going to be on the mat. I don't really care where I am as long as I'm on the mat. And a lot of times that works for him. Sometimes it's sweeps, sometimes it's counters, sometimes it's submissions off of his back. Whatever it is, like he likes working there. But I think Patrizi is good enough at staying safe and also good enough at like not completely gassing himself out for stuff that he doesn't have. You know what I mean? So like, he's not going to get an arm triangle and, cook his arms. He's not going to throw ground and pound until he's exhausted thinking he's finishing Bungard if he's not going to be finishing Bungard. So like, he's smart when it comes to his movement there. And then on the mat or on the hands too, like Patrizi has had trouble on the hands. Like you notice he coming off of a loss against Adam Shelley, who I'm not a big fan of personally, but like in that fight, he took Shelley down. Shelley worked back to the feet. Shelley pieced him up with the lankiness. Like Bungard's not longer than Patrizi, right? Like, so like, I'm not so worried about him being outstruck by a guy who's like long and lanky and difficult to get to. So, I think Patrizi has advantages in both avenues because, he's faster. He doesn't have to worry about the length he's had to worry about in the past. And he's going to be in all the positive positions in terms of grappling, as long as he doesn't get himself caught. The difference for me about why I'm going to be less enthusiastic is last time I guessed Patrizi would be like a plus 300 underdog. He posted at plus 200, so lower than I had originally hoped for, but I was like, still plus 200 is awesome. He closed at negative 110. And so for this next fight, like the markets have already seen the betting action on this fight.
Yeah.
I think it's going to open a pickup. And so like, where I once was like, hey, we are extracting a lot of value out of kind of like this sleeper in Patrizi who's better than his record says. Now I'm like, oh, the market kind of knows, or the market's aware. And I still like him, gun to my head, I would still pick him in a fight, but I'm just like, if he was plus 300 gung ho here, even money, I'm like, you're not going to get me there in a bet. Like I won't get there on this guy or either of these two guys on even money. I'd want to find some value there on a different underdog in the card or something like that. So officially, I'm going to take Simone Patrizi, but cautiously as well.
Topology is only 9% in on him.
Yeah, but and that's the thing is too, is like I was so weirded out by the line movement because like Bungard is a fan favorite. And usually fan favorites, especially on the regional scene, like get blown up because people just like they want to see him win, and also like I want to see him win, and I'm just going to throw some money on him when he does. You see that with Paddy Pimblett, or you saw that with Conor McGregor when they were in the UFC too. And Bungard's not those guys, but he's like a fan favorite for Cage Warriors. So I assume the money had come in on him, and it had to have been just like a big better on the other side or something like that. But the line moved heavily towards Patrizi.
Yeah, interesting. All right. Before we get to our main event, let me tell you about Rhythm, RTHMM. Rhythm is crushing it in college football, NFL, and now just out of the NBA. Rhythm is also giving away weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build, and you can win $1,000. Gumby's going to give you a bet you can track right now, probably.
Sure. Wednesday night, we got the Bulls. We got the Blazers. The Bulls, fresh off of beating those Denver Nuggets, back over 500 yet again. We'll take them to beat the Blazers, laying the 3.5.
All right. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. So download Rhythm, RITHMM, and use promo code SGPN25. All right, we're to our main event. It is for the Cage Warriors Interim Lightweight Championship. Why is it an interim title, Gumby?
This one's an interim. It's Samuel Silva was the champ. And he actually was supposed to fight Tugarev a couple of months ago, or maybe a month ago. I know he pulled up injured from that, and Tugarev had already been the interim champ. Like Tugarev is currently the interim champ and defending it. And that originally came from when Silva was on Contender Series, because I don't know if you remember, Sam Silva is the one who Rat Garbage knocked out. So now he's back to Cage Warriors, was supposed to unify the titles, didn't, and so like now this fight's popped up.
And Gumby didn't pick Rat Garbage, of course, because he's Canadian. So that's what Gumby did.
And Rat Garbage is so good.
Yep. So 5-minute rounds, 155, of course. Omar Tugarev, he is from Finland. Omiel Brown from Jamaica. Let's break her down. That rhymes. Brown, 11-3, 6 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been knocked out once, so he's a durable guy. All his fights have taken place in Cage Warriors. He's won 5 straight and 6 of 7, 2 straight via finish. He last lost November 2023. He used to fight up at 170. Tugarev, 8-0, 4 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's 1-0 in Cage Warriors. He's the current interim champ, as Gumby said. 2 straight wins via TKO. He has fought at 170 and 185. He went 0-1 in pro kickboxing. He's 7 years younger than Brown. He's an inch tall.
So this one's a tough one for me. Eventually, I got around on Tugarev. I'm not sure I'm going to like the number, though. My guess is it's going to be over 200. He's got an EP name. That does a lot of damage. He is the current interim champion. His record looks a little better. It's a lot of things pointing to where a book makes him installs him as a large favorite. And really, he reads to me as like if he was in the high 100s, I'd probably just be in straight money line. Like, I don't even think you need to get cute and put him in a parlay or, do anything more than that if he's in the 100s, because I do think he's got a lot of advantages in this fight. I've seen, Brown tries to wrestle a lot, and Tugarev had a little bit of trouble. If you want to go back to his UAE Warriors fight with Humphries Malenga, like, he's had a little bit of trouble with good wrestlers, but I don't think Brown is quite to that level yet. If you watch some of Omiel Brown's recent takedown attempts, he's like, it seems like his hand placement on the legs and hips of his opponents, like, he's like a little confused by it. Like, sometimes he'll shoot and he'll only get one leg, and instead of doing like the grips you do to transfer a single leg to a double leg, or you try to finish a single leg, he just like has the double leg grip and double leg angle. And I'm like, you don't have both legs though. So like that, it doesn't work like that. Like, you need 2 legs for a double leg. And then like sometimes he'll readjust it and like kind of find it, but it's like, okay, so that worked against the guys you beat before, but is that going to work against the interim champ who happens to be undefeated? I don't think so. Like, I think you kind of have to have a good blast double in order to get Tugarev down. So I think Tugarev is going to be able to sort of dictate where this fight takes place. And, if you watch Brown, personally, I just think he's too reckless on the feet for Tugarev. Like, I think Tugarev's a little bit smarter. I do worry a little bit because Tugarev seems like he almost like tries to get too close to you in order to strike. Like, by the time he's starting to strike, I'm like, I think you could have just thrown that punch from like another foot away and it would have landed both better and you would be in less danger. But Omiel Brown kind of like swings big arm punches and gets a little bit reckless. And sometimes he's off balance and that allows you to take him down. He was fighting, what was that, Brasco? The Brasco fight. Brasco dropped him. And Brown had to like wrestle his way out of that circumstance. And like, if that guy's tagging him, Tugarev should be able to tag him. So, there's lots of things pointing to Tugarev here, but the bottom line is just like, most importantly, is anytime I've seen Tugarev in trouble, it's because he was worried about the grappling of the guy he was fighting. Mainly Humphries Malenga was the big one. And I just don't think he will be in this fight. And I think that allows him to be a lot more free and a lot more careful with his striking and a lot more, he's going to be able to set up his game plan better. So give me Omar Tugarev. Hopefully can get him in the high 1s, but maybe a parlay piece in the low 2s.
All right. And Gumby was very profound there. You need 2 legs for a double leg.
You need 2 legs for a double leg. You can't.
Very true.
I mean, I mean, you guess you could try, you know?
Apparently he does. All right, let's give you a recap. He's got Tugarev, he has got Patrizi, he has got Ownsworth, he has got Humphries, he has got Lopes, and he has got a lightning round play or two for you. Is that Bang Boom Pow?
Yeah, I always got two for you. The first one I'm going to give you, best name in MMA history. I'm talking about Christian Soda.
Yep.
And let me tell you something. Christian Soda, hilarious name. But also, like last time we brought up Christian Soda, I think because I took the lightning round on the guy against him. The guy against him was like a 4-0 pro. It was Christian Soda's debut. I had seen like some stats on Christian Soda's like amateur career, and I was like, whatever. And then he came out and looked like an animal. He looked so good in that fight. And so I'm like, I might be a Christian Soda fan. So, give me Christian Soda again in this one. And, hey, I'm going to double down on guys who are only 1-0. Give me Jack McLaughlin. Jack McLaughlin, really great amateur career, particularly with his grappling. I think they've set him up for another fight here. So my two lightning round picks here, Jack McLaughlin, Christian Soda.
All right. You're set. If you want to talk about Christian Sodas as well, hit us up in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. YouTube, that's good too. MMA Gambling Podcast, or Twitter, SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer, at Jeff Fox Writer on Instagram. Check out my Substack. You can enter my UFC pick'em contest for free at moneymma.substack.com. Gumby has another podcast. It's called Top Turtle. He's going to tell you about it right now.
Yeah, we got Volkan Ozdemir, who's fighting over in Qatar this weekend, as well as Shannon Clark, who just defended her LFA flyweight belt.
So check out Top Turtle. And of course, we can be found at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Remember, check out Holiday will get you 25% off, and sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon for some bonus content from the bosses and our fellow co-workers here. Back tomorrow, the Experiment Jeff Fox, the Fridge, Gumby Vreeland. We'll talk to you then.